Lunalena, and I am back with a new video. Um, Excuse my wet hair, but I'm back from swimming and it is how it is. Somehow I'm always back from swimming, but anyways, this video today is about the 80-10-10 diet, which was created by Dr. Douglas Graham, and he's a raw vegan doctor, and I think he's a great doctor. I really appreciate his work and his message he want to spread. So I thought it's time to learn more about the 80-10-10 diet, because I recently discovered this lifestyle for me, and I can not longer keep it just for me because it's so great, and I really want that everybody can make use of it. So let's start. So the 80-10-10 diet, it's actually not that complicated. 80-10-10, it's the ratio between the macronutrients. So it simply means you get 80% of your total calories from carbohydrates, 10% from fat and protein. And the main calories come from fruits, because Dr. Douglas Graham, he says that the best source of fuel for the human body is fruit, and because the body runs on sugar, and every cell is fueled by sugar, and no matter what you eat, the body converts it into sugar. So sugar is not a bad thing. It just depends which sugar you consume. So there are different types of sugar, of course. I'm not talking about the refined sugar here. So the refined sugar, which comes from the industry, and these sugars are isolated from their nutrients, from their fiber, water, minerals and vitamins, all the good things we really need. They are isolated from them, so we cannot make any use of these isolated sugars, and they really deserve their bad rap. So when I am talking about sugar, I really mean the natural sugar in fruits and vegetables. So the sugar in our natural species specific diet is actually essential for us. Instead of eating candy bars or complex carbohydrates, we really should go for the fruits and vegetables. That's always the best solution. So basically there are two types of carbohydrates. The first thing is sugar as a simple carbohydrate, and the second thing is starch as a complex carbohydrate. And starches can be found in plants, and if we consume plants with starches, we convert them into simple sugars, because if we consume starches from plants, our body converts it into simple sugars again, for the use in our cell, because we can only make use of simple sugars. So if we eat complex carbohydrates, like starches, then our body has actually more work to do, and that's not necessary. So that's the main reason why simple sugars from fruits is the optimal source of energy for our body. So why would we choose an worse option, an okay option, when there is an optimal version for us available? So why would you choose a potato over an apple? Because the simple sugar from the apple is better for your body and you can make use of it. But the starches, it's too complicated. He has to convert it first before we can make any use of it. And then there's the cooking process with the potato, which I discuss later, but yes, simple sugar is always the best solution. And Dr. Douglas Graham, he gave an example which I found pretty good. So he said, if someone comes to you and says, here I have the best thing for you, use the best for a while, would you then go back to the cheaper version? So if he says to you, it's not that good, but it will do, would you prefer the best version? And same with food. If you eat fruits and vegetables, that's the optimal version, and you won't go back to cooked food, for example, because it maybe works for a time, but it's not the optimal version. So yes, that's it. And now I want to talk about healthy fats, because 10% in the 80-10-10 diet come from fat. Many people say that's not enough, and because our hormones need fat and our brain needs fat, it's essential for a healthy brain function, and that's totally true. But our brain mainly consists out of fat, and the neurons are coated in fat. But that doesn't mean that we have to consume more fat to keep our brain healthy, any more than you have to consume more lips to keep your lip healthy, or you don't have to consume more eyes to keep your eyes healthy. You know what I mean? So the ideal fat intake for humans are between 3 and 10% of total calorie intake. So if you consume more than 10% from your calories from fat, then you really start to deteriorate functions rather than enhance it. And the problem is we always worry that we don't get enough. We don't get enough fat, we don't get enough protein, we have to consume more protein. Oh, please give me that protein powder, give me that supplement. I need it, I need more. But more is not necessarily always the best. More is not better. If you eat mainly fruits and vegetables, then not getting enough fat is even not a concern. Because fruits and veggies have 8% fat anyways. They come with 8% fat. And I don't talk about avocado or olives or nuts and seeds. I just mean regular fruits like apples, pears, plums, I don't know, bananas. They all run between 8 and 10% of their calories from fat. So that's really not a concern. And the same is for protein, which leads me to the next topic, protein. There's always this question, where do you get your protein from? And I just can't laugh about it, because it's somehow really ridiculous, because the mainstream people ask the vegetarians, but where do you get your protein from? And the vegetarians ask the vegan people, but where do you get your protein from? And the vegan people ask the raw vegan people, where do you get your protein from? And the raw vegan people ask the fruitarians, where do you get your protein from? From plants, fruits and vegetables. It's really easy, but somehow people don't get it. So if you eat fruits and vegetables, like I told you before, it's the same with fats. Fruits and veggies have around 8 to 10% protein, and the World Health Organization, they recommend to get 11% of your total calorie intake from protein, which is exactly in fruits and vegetables. So the average American consumes about 11% protein, but they cook it, and that's a big problem, because if we cook anything with calories, there is a reaction going on. And there are three main substances that develop when we cook our food. And the first thing is carcinogens, the second thing is mutagens, and the third thing is teratogens. So the carcinogens are responsible for cancer, they cause cancer. The mutagens are responsible for aging, they let us age faster, which we don't want. And teratogens, they actually lead to miscarriages, and they rise infertility, and they can lead to gene defects in the unborn child. So that's traumatic. And all these things can happen over years, so over generations. It doesn't mean that if you eat cooked food that your child will be sick, but it really can change our genes. So maybe the next generation or the generation after, they will really have not healthy children, and yes, all these problems I mentioned, and that's sad. So if we cook protein, the protein structure changes. Proteins are made from amino acids, and they, if we heat them over 42 degrees, they become so-called cross-linked proteins. The structure somehow crosses, and we cannot longer make use of it. So these cross-linked proteins, which are in our body, we have no enzymes to break them down, and therefore we can't make use of these proteins. The body is simply not made to eat cooked foods, because if we cook our food, it always changes, and it's not in its natural form anymore. And we humans are we are designed to eat the natural form of any food. So the natural form is, of course, uncooked, and no other species cooks their food. Do you know any animal that cook their food? No, they just eat it how it is. And that's the best version. The best thing you can do is just eat your food how it comes from nature. That's the most natural, the most healthiest thing. To come to a conclusion, I want to say that it really matters how much of each macronutrient we consume. So it's not just about the calories. The calories, of course, they play a role, but in this lifestyle, not that much. And I actually made another video about calories only, because this would be too long now. And I have a few other topics which I do also separate videos. For example, protein. I talk about protein in another video. Carbohydrates, fats, and calories on a 8-10-10 diet, and the consumption of carbohydrates and fat on this lifestyle, and about food combination, and much more is coming. So yes, the 80-10-10 diet is really an approved lifestyle that helps thousands of people to get rid of their diseases and to really feel much better and to recover from illness and sickness and whatever, and just feel their best. And to get started with this 80-10-10 lifestyle or diet, the first step, the best thing you can do is cutting your fats, because if you cut your fat intake, it's really a big step towards health. So the second thing is decide if you really want to cook your food anymore, because there are so many reasons to not cook your food. Like I said before, it's the best thing you can do is just eat your food how it is. And yes, that's it for today, because otherwise this video gets a little bit too long, and I really want to make more smaller videos so that you don't get overwhelmed with information, and that's why I stop here. I could talk about this topic another 5 hours or so, but it's enough for today, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and please stay tuned because there is only more stuff coming. And yes, peace and love to all of you. Bye.